So AI is everywhere, right? Everyone's talking about it. But how do you actually build a business around it? Today, we're going to look past all the fancy tech demos. We're actually cracking open an agency playbook to see the real strategy, the sales process, and the systems that turn AI from a cool idea into actual business value. Let's dive in.
So here's our game plan. We're going to start with the absolute fundamentals, the building blocks of AI. Then we'll get into how you actually sell that value. After that, we'll talk about scaling a small win into a huge strategy. And finally, we'll see how it all comes together to make you an indispensable AI partner.
All right, first things first. We've got to speak the same language, Before you can build anything that lasts, you need to understand your materials. And in the world of AI, that means cutting through the noise and really defining our core terms. You've probably heard these words thrown around a million times, right? Agent, expert, system. But what do they actually mean? And what's the difference? Getting this down is the absolute key to understanding how these complex AI solutions really work.
Okay, let's start with agent. An agent is basically your AI worker bee. It's the most fundamental piece of the puzzle. You give it a task, like reply to this email or check that database, and it just gets the job done. It is the core doer.
Right, so if an agent is just a general worker, a virtual expert is the one that went to grad school for his super specific job. It's been trained and fine-tuned on very particular data, like tax law or medical journals, to become a master of one thing. It's not just a doer, it's a specialist.
And this right here really spells it out. An agent, it's a generalist. It can do lots of things. But a virtual expert, that's your specialist, your master of a domain. So think of it this way. Every virtual expert is an agent at its core, but not every simple agent has that deep specialized knowledge. Okay, so we have our individual specialist, the virtual expert. What's an agentic system? Well, that's the entire team working together. It's this organized network where all these different agents and experts are talking to each other, delegating tasks, and sharing info to hit one big goal. It's like a whole department of specialists in a box.
Let's make this super concrete. Imagine a customer message comes in. The very first agent doesn't try to answer it. Its only job is to figure out what the message is about. Is it a tech problem? Okay, it instantly sends it over to the technical expert. Is it about a bill? Whisked away to the billing expert. See, that's orchestration. It's so much smarter than just basic automation.
All right, so now we get the what. We know the building blocks. But how in the world do you convince a business to actually buy this stuff? This next part is all about making that shift, from talking about cool tech to talking about real, tangible value.
This is a super powerful sales framework, and it's actually pretty simple. It's called Pain, Dream, Bridge. You don't lead with your product. No, you start with their pain. What's broken? What's frustrating them? Then you help them imagine the dream. What would the perfect world look like? And only then, once they see that gap, do you show them how your AI is the bridge to get them there.
And boom, here's what that bridge looks like in the wild. Notice what it doesn't say? It's not about tech jargon like agentic systems. Nope. It leads with the result, reduce cost by 30%. It connects the dots directly from the technology to a clear win for the business.
Yeah, but it's never that simple, is it? You're going to run into the same three big walls almost every single time. People are, understandably, worried about their data security. They get scared about how complex it's all going to be. And of course, they're worried about that price tag.
And this right here, this is the secret sauce. You have to pivot the conversation. Stop talking about cost and start talking about return on investment. Because once you can prove that for every dollar they put in, they get $3, $4, or $5 back, well, it's not an expense anymore, is it? It's a strategic investment. Okay, so you got the first yes. You landed that initial project. Awesome. But the real game isn't just one win. It's about turning that small success into a long-term, company-wide strategy. This is where we talk about scaling up.
And this is where this idea of a lighthouse project comes in. I love this. Your first successful project, it's not just a win. It's a beacon. You make it super visible inside the company, you show off the amazing results, and it becomes this shining example that lights the way for everyone else.
And that path for expansion, it's not random. It follows this really smart three-step journey. You start with efficiency, easy, low-hanging fruit, automating stuff to save time and money. Once you've proven that, you move up to experience. How can we use AI to make things way better for customers or employees? And finally, you hit the top level, innovation.
This is where you're not just improving old stuff, you're inventing totally new ways of doing business with AI.
And here's where the rubber meets the road. You can see how this plays out in basically any department. In HR, you start by automating FAQs. That's the efficiency win. Then you move up to creating a personalized onboarding for new hires. That's a better experience. It's this repeatable playbook you can run over and over again.
So let's recap. We've defined the tech, we've figured out how to sell the vision, and we've got a roadmap to expand. The last piece of the puzzle is putting it all together into a system, so you go from just being a vendor to being a true strategic partner.
And this timeline really just maps out the entire journey from start to finish. You start at the silver tier, learning the ropes, landing those first lighthouse projects. Then you level up to gold, where you're all about expanding that success. And finally, you hit platinum. That's where you've built a scalable, repeatable business. It's the whole playbook.
So when you think about it, what's the big takeaway here? When you stop seeing AI as just a shiny new tool, and you start seeing it as this structured system for driving efficiency, then experience, then innovation, well, the whole question changes, doesn't it? It's not about whether you should use AI. It's about whether you're ready to partner with it.